So dear students, today we will discuss about some basic geometrical concepts. Basic geometrical concept. So let us recall first what is a point. So point is just like a dot. So what a point represents? So point represents an exact location and it has no length, no breadth and no height. Suppose we are going to Delhi. There are so many stations in the way, but when we say Delhi, so it is a fixed location we want to go. Suppose we want to go anywhere in the country. So first of all we will decide a fixed location where we want to go. So that fixed location is called a point. So point, so it has an exact location and it has no length, no breadth and no height. And next term arise here, line. So what is a line? Line is a straight path which extends endlessly in both directions. Just like suppose it is a symbol of line. So it has is not exact length. So we can move line endlessly in both directions. It has no fixed length. So now question arises here, what is a line? So line is a straight path which extends endlessly in both directions. So it has no end point and it cannot be measured because it has no end point, so we cannot measure it. And next term arises here, ray. So what is a ray? So a ray has one end point. It is, if we take the example of a sun, we see that sun is a fixed, but its rays goes endlessly in all directions. So we can say a ray has one end point and it can move only in one direction. Example of a light bulb in your room. So bulb is a fixed location and its light is the example of ray. So next is line segment. So what is a line segment? It is a part of a line and it has fixed length. Suppose it is a line and here we have 2 points that are marked as A and B. So line segment is a part of a line and it has a fixed length. We can measure it. So now question is here, what is the difference between a ray, line and line segment? So ray has one end point, line segment has 2 end point and line has no end point. Second, ray, it cannot be measured. Line segment, it can be measured and line, it cannot be measured. Now question arises here, why we cannot measure ray and line? Because ray has only one end point and but line has no end point. We can measure only that things which has a fixed length, which has end point. So we can measure. So it is the difference between ray, line and line segment. So next term is plane. So what is a plane? A flat surface. So plane is a flat surface which extends endlessly in all the directions. The tabletop and its board is also an example of a plane surface. Wall is also example of plane surface. So there are so many examples. So plane is a flat surface which extend endlessly in all direction. So next we have properties of a point and a line. Properties of a point and a line. So what are the properties of a point? So first property, take any point here. We have taken any point here. Now question is, how many lines we can draw through this point? How many lines? So suppose it is a point. So an unlimited number of lines can be drawn passing through a given point in a plane. Suppose it is a point given in a plane, and how many lines we can draw from this point? A number of lines, unlimited lines, countless lines. So it is the first property of a point and a line. And next, if we have 2 points, then how many lines can be drawn passing through these 2 points? So suppose we have these 2 points P and Q. So how many lines can be drawn passing through these 2 points? Only one. Only one. So one and only one line can be drawn passing through these 2 points in a plane. So this line lies completely in a plane. So first property, a number of or unlimited lines we can draw passing through a point. But in property number 2, we can draw only one line passing through the given 2 points. So these are the 2 properties. First property, unlimited number of lines can be we can draw passing through a given point, and second is only one line can be drawn passing through the 2 points. So next is collinear points. So what are collinear points? Next, linear points. So linear means line. So when 3 or more points, suppose we have a line E, C. So when 3 or more points lie on the same line, so they are called collinear points. 3 or more than 3. If we have only 2 points, then that is a line segment. Now the question is collinear points. When 3 or more points lie on the same line, so they are collinear points. So they are called collinear points. So next term is intersecting line. Intersecting line. So what are intersecting line? So intersect line means to cut each other. Suppose when 2 lines in a plane which cut each other at a point, so they are called intersecting line. So we have seen the symbol of plus and symbol of multiply. So that are the example of intersecting line. So when 2 lines cut each other or cross each other in a plane at a point, so they are called intersecting line, and the point where they cut each other, that is called point of intersection. That is called point of intersection. So lines are called intersecting line, and the point where they cut each other, that is called point of point of intersection. So next we have parallel line. So what are the parallel line? So what are parallel lines? So have you seen a ladder? So it is just like this. So suppose it is a ladder, and these two sides, so these are called parallel lines. So parallel lines are those lines which never meet in a plane with each other. Example of railway track, example of a ladder, example of the length of a board. Okay? So two lines in a plane which do not meet anywhere are called parallel lines. And if we measure the length of breadth of the line, if we measure the breadth of these between two lines, so that is same everywhere. And if they meet with each other, then they change into intersecting line. So a ladder is the example of parallel line. So next we have concurrent lines. So what are concurrent lines? So when three or more than three lines, passing through a point, so that are called concurrent lines. So when three or more than three lines passing through the same point, so they are called concurrent line, and the point from where they cross each other, so that is called point of concurrence. So that is called point of concurrence. So concurrent line. So when three or more than three lines passing through the same point, so they are called concurrent line, and the point where they cross each other, so that is called point of concurrence. Now what is the difference between intersecting line and concurrent line? So when two lines cross each other, they are called intersecting line. When three or more than three lines cross at a point or passing through a point, so they are called concurrent line. And the point from where they cross each other, so that is called point of concurrence. So it is about the basic of geometrical concepts.